Three-time junior middleweight world champion superstar boxer Jermell Lions Only Charlo, who is the undisputed junior middleweight world champion. Top 5 pound for pound best fighters in the world. 35 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 19 big wins by way of knockout, 32 years of age, 6 feet tall with a 73-inch arm reach. He had to pull out his January 28th showdown with Australian superstar title contender junior middleweight in TYZSU. Jamel Charlo, he was supposed to face off against TYZSU January 28th, but he suffered a broken left hand, okay, which got many people to believing and speculating that maybe Jamel Charlo wasn't injured and that Jamel Charlo was just pulling out the fight with TYZSU because there's other underlying issues that are going on. TYZSU and Jamel Charlo, we knew this fight was going to take place since May of this year. TYZSU is 21 wins, no losses, no draw, 15 wins by way of knockout, 28 years of age, 5'8" and a half with a 72-inch arm reach. So we knew that TYZSU and Jamel Charlo, they were going to fight. After Jamel Charlo, he had his highly anticipated rematch showdown with former WBO junior middleweight world champion, Argentinian star boxer Brian Castano, to which Jamel Charlo, the first fight ended in a draw. The second fight saw Jamel Charlo knock out Brian Castano in the 10th, 11th round of their fight. With that said, he became undisputed, the first undisputed junior middleweight world champion in the history of the sport of boxing. And we knew TYZSU, who was initially the WBO mandatory challenger for Brian Castano, after Jamel Charlo and Brian Castano fought to a draw, TYZSU was supposed to get his opportunity fighting Brian Castano, but they paid TYZSU step-aside money to allow Jamel Charlo and Brian Castano to have their rematch. And they did. And Jamel Charlo, as I stated, he brutally knocked out Brian Castano in a fight of the year type of fight. It was action-packed from the very beginning. Both fighters made adjustments in the fight from the first fight, and it was very, very entertaining. With that said, Jamel Charlo, he got the knockout victory over Brian Castano. That was May 28th of this year, okay? So we knew that TYZSU, he was going to be the next opponent for Jamel Charlo. But they announced that the fight wasn't going to happen in July. They announced that TYZSU and Jamel Charlo will be fighting in January, okay? Which seemed very, very strange that you would wait that long when you already knew who the opponent was and you already knew why the opponent was. And TYZSU, he had fought in March, okay, of 2022, March of this year. And Jamel Charlo, he fought in May. So, TYZSU, Jamel Charlo, they were both ready to, do business. But for whatever reason, it seems like they were having issues with the budget, right? And so that's why the fight wasn't being scheduled until January, although they both fought early in 2022. So Jamel Charlo, he suffered a broken left hand. It was reported yesterday that he suffered a broken left hand and that he had to be pulled out the fight. And so, again, many people started to question and speculate and say, did Jamel Charlo truly injure his hand, or is there some other underlying issues that is preventing the fight? Well, Jamel Charlo has now posted pictures to put all of that to bed. And Jamel Charlo is showing that, he did indeed break his left hand. He has a black cast on his left hand, and he's going to be in the cast for at least 2 months, okay? Which lets us know that Jamel Charlo and TYZSU fight is not going to happen possibly until at least June, okay? If he's going to be in the cast for 2 months, you're talking about he's going to be in the cast, until March, okay? And then once he comes out the cast, he's going to have to rehab the hand because obviously he uses his hands as his way of earning money. That's his profession, his hands. So he cannot come out of a cast and go right into a fight. He's going to have some sort of rehab, make sure the hand is fully healthy because he don't want to have any relapses, okay? He don't want to start hitting the heavy bag as we see and suddenly, his hand breaks again. So he's going to want to be in rehab, make sure it's stronger than ever, then prepare for a training camp to re-enter this TYZSU fight. Now, many people was saying we had former WBC junior middleweight world champion, who's the rival of Jermell Charlo, in Tony Harrison. He beat Jamel Charlo, the first man to beat Jamel Charlo. Then Jamel Charlo, he came back a year to the date and he knocked out Tony Harrison. But Tony Harrison vowed to fill in for Jamel Charlo and fight TYZSU. And then you had Sebastian Fundora, who's the WBC mandatory challenger, who's supposed to fight Tony Harrison. He vowed to fill in for Jamel Charlo as well. I don't know if TYZSU wants to run the risk of possibly losing to one Tony Harrison or Sebastian Fundora before getting his opportunity for all of the marbles. He has an opportunity to fight Jamel Charlo for every last single belt. So TYZSU, by the time he fights, obviously, he's definitely going to be out the ring for at least a year, okay? And the same goes for Jamel Charlo. I don't see them fighting until, at the very least, May, right? So I believe, which would be June, because Jamel Charlo is going to have to go through rehab. He can't hit the heavy bag. He can't use the hand. That's his jab hand. That's his lead hand. That hand sets up everything for Jamel Charlo. It's very important and one of the best jabs in the sport of boxing. So he's going to want that to be 1,000% healthy and usable. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But Jamel Charlo, he shows proof that he is indeed injured, has a broken left hand. He's in the black cast, and he will be in the cast for at least 2 months. The report says he will be in the cast for at least 2 months, okay? This is unfortunate for Jamel Charlo and TYZSU. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue. Peace.